Greeting, family, and welcome to the Art of Rising Flow State Conversations. I'm your host, Omar Garcia, and we're coming out of North Bergen, New Jersey, and we're here to touch the masses. There's so many people that have enjoyed what we do, so we're just bringing it out into the internet on this podcast. So I have a wonderful guest. I know you guys have been waiting a little bit, and I'm sorry we were having a little bit of technical challenges. Okay, but we're on now. So the brother that we have today is Kamau. He's an author, a creative thinker, a father most of all, and he's a business owner as well too. So I find him extremely fascinating since I've met him, and we've invited him on the podcast, and he's graciously taken up the invitation. So here we go. Welcome, brother Kamau. Welcome.
Mm.
Peace,
Invitations
brother. Peace.
are invitations are always welcome from you. I appreciate you extending it, and I'm so glad to be a part of the work that you're doing in general. I found you through a friend, so the work that you are doing is already a wave, and I'm just glad to be riding it.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. We met at a ice plunge. You just showed up with another brother and sister.
You
So
showed
that's
up.
usually how these things go. Yeah, it's been beautiful. Just a wonderful journey. And it hasn't even been a year, or has it been?
No, not yet.
I don't think
Not
so.
yet.
No, no. But I feel that I've known you for lifetimes, brother. You just,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, maybe we clicked, or maybe we know each other from past lives. I mean, depends who you ask. So I'm open to all that. um, but yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit about your story, right?
Yeah.
I've learned so much about you by speaking with you and spending time with you, but I've also
Mhm.
done a little bit of research on your background too. So I just want
Mhm.
to let you know that
Okay.
we want to know all about it, where you
Mm.
come from, and yeah, how you've gotten to this point right here. Let's start with that.
Ooh, where do I come from and how do I get to this point right here? That's all right. All right. Mm, I came from an idea that started in a long time ago, but it culminated with my father and mother getting together in Pittsburgh and um, getting into the creation business and creating a life, which is me. Um, my father is a chemical engineer. My mother's a teacher. So I'm the kind of alchemical product of an educator and a scientist and engineer. Mm, that chemistry has taken me on so many pathways in my life, and I've been really blessed to have experienced the world through my work, mostly, which was focused in creating experiences for major brands. I spent about 25 years doing that kind of work, helping companies that you know and love um, reach hearts and minds through experiences. I really love anything that is experiential, that takes the body and mind on a journey.
Mhm.
And I really had a great career, doing that kind of work and sharing my love for experiences, my love for experience with the teams that I led, the people that I worked with the people that I collaborated with, across the world. Um, I was lucky to work internationally. I was lucky to work domestically. I was lucky to see the world from angles that I really never considered, because I had one very kind of particular career path in mind when I was a teenager, which was somewhere in the world of making video games. And and it it's fascinating because, one of the things I loved about the video game world was just the open world design, like the ability to make kind of anything in that world. Something about that kind of touched my senses and my sensibilities in the late 80s, early 1990s. And that was a world of world building, which is where I thought I wanted to be. And that took me into a career of world building, building experiences, building environments, building campaigns that people could immerse themselves in. Um, but it all was a bit of a dojo, a training ground, for learning about myself, learning what I'm capable of, learning what um, happens when I'm mixed in with other people, where how my gifts come alive through my experience around others. And I had the opportunity to work with just amazing people, brilliant people, brilliant people during the course of my career, um, and give them opportunities to see their ideas come to fruition. A lot of times
Mm,
in ways that they hadn't really even imagined before.
mm.
And that's what I do now as well. I work with people to help them see their ideas come to life in ways they hadn't really imagined before.
Can you mention some of those people that you worked with?
Yeah.
I know sometimes I'm a little hesitant on some things that I've done or accomplished or worked with because I don't want to sound like braggadocious or
Sure.
but yeah, why not, man? Let's hear it.
No, no. I mean, I've worked with every major brand most people know: Nike's, McDonald's, Coca Cola's, Audible, Amazon, Toyota, Lexus, Jeep, and one the basketball shoe company. Um,
Mm, mm, mm,
I've worked with the Church of Latter Day Saints.
mhm, okay. They
It's a
got some
wide,
money. They got some money. Yeah.
absolutely, the USTA, the United States Tennis Association. Um, I've hung out and been on tour with the Rolling Stones. I've worked across international waters with American Express. I've seen a lot. I've touched a lot. I've done a lot. I've been really, really blessed to work on some of the kind of campaigns and work with a lot of the people that I've been able to work with in my career. And thank you for asking. Um,
Of course, of
yeah,
course.
absolutely.
So that has to do, that sounds like marketing, right? You
Yes.
were you were in a working in a firm,
I
right?
was working at
Correct?
advertising agencies. I was working
Advertising
directly
agency,
with,
right?
yeah, working directly um, with clients at those within those agencies, and then I also spent some time working directly at companies. So I started out my career in the music business, and I was working for record labels when I started my career. I was having a really good time learning about music marketing, and found I had a real kind of knack for creativity when it came to putting things together, putting a campaign together, putting disparate ideas together, and giving them a chance to work, giving ideas life. I really had a knack for, which
Mm,
was helpful when you're looking to promote creative artists. They've already done a lot of great creative work, and so then how do you take their creativity and add on to that to continue to get people to be excited about the product that is to come, whether it's a new artist or somebody who's already established? How do you get them reinvigorated and excited about the new product? So I
wow.
was,
That could be challenging. Yeah.
it can be challenging. I seem to be an enthusiast in general. And so I like to take on problems. Um,
Hmm.
I like to take on challenges like that. It's fun for me. It allows my brain to do what it does best, which is fuse fuse ideas together.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So you were doing advertising and
Yes.
marketing, right?
Yes.
So those two things, people
Mhm.
usually hear those things and they go, they're exactly the same, but
They are.
they're not the same, right? They're like cousins or or brothers.
Yeah, they're aspects of each other. Need the marketing campaign for the advertising to do what it's supposed to do what it's intended to do. That's where
Mm,
the overall marketing campaign comes in. Where my best work comes in is as a strategist, is why the marketing campaign exists in the first place, and what's the best solution to help a brand or a person
mm.
reach the audience that they want to reach.
Right,
That's
right.
the strategic element that bridges the
Mm,
gap between the
mm.
company wanting to sell something and how they sell it. And I spend most of my time as a strategist, but because I also loved where an idea could go, I then would also leapfrog from strategist into creative, meaning I'm working on developing out the idea, and I would then jump from creative into producer because I also enjoyed the making of the experience. So I kind of played a number of those different hats throughout my career, and then I began to move up in leadership and leading teams, leading departments,
Mm.
full of strategists and creatives and creators and writers that were and designers who were just there to help bring beautiful ideas to life. Should we find the right ears for the idea?
Right, right. So, I've learned a little bit about some of these things.
Mhm,
And when you purchase a shirt in the store, you think, hey, I like that shirt. It
mhm,
looks nice, nice color, good price. I'll buy it. You take it home, right?
mhm.
And you think, hey, I've made a good decision. But in actuality, there was a lot of work that went into getting you to buy that shirt. A lot of work, a lot
Yeah,
of things going behind the scenes, you
yes.
know.
Now,
But
most
I
of that
also
work, by the way, and
go ahead.
this is something that I think will be, valuable to kind of understand as we go further. Most of that work is done by you because as advertisers, we're only responding to what you tell us through your behavior. It's the
Okay.
only way
Okay.
we know how to reach you where you are and
Right.
introduce you to the thing that we want to introduce you to.
Right, right, right. And then the fascinating part is about the creativity. You
Mhm,
spoke about, hey, how is it that I get people more engaged with something that's already out there? They know the brand or that image of the person,
mhm,
and what is it that they're providing, but how do we get them to like sparkle and shine much more, right?
mhm,
So I heard this wonderful story that this woman said where she went into a deli in the morning to get some breakfast. And when she was online, someone in front of her said, "Oh, can I have a muffin, please?" And all of a sudden, it popped in her head. She went, "That's wonderful marketing. Why? Because that's just cake. But people don't eat cake for breakfast. If you tell somebody, hey, you want a slice of cake for breakfast? You go, oh, no, 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 it's breakfast. I don't eat that. But a
mhm.
muffin, oh, that's for breakfast. It's okay. Wonderful marketing. Amazing.
Wonderful marketing, wonderful branding. Just rebrand it. Just rebrand cake as something
Mhm.
else. And it's delightful and it feels great for breakfast.
That's amazing. That's great. Yes.
Mhm,
So now you're out of that work field. Or I don't know if that's the real correct terminology, but you're
mhm.
doing something on your own, right?
Yes.
So how
Yeah.
long has it been since you've decided to make that leap? And in addition, tell me, how did all of that take place?
Yeah. 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 No, great question. About 18 months ago, um, I was in a position to really um, see for the first time the opportunities that I had ahead of me to create something for myself. Mm, I was looking at my career and I was looking at all the great brands that I had worked with, the great companies that I worked for, and inside of the structure of all those environments were incredible people that I talked about. Excuse me. those designers, those writers, those strategists, the account people, the people in accounting, the people in HR, the people in operations. Um, I worked with a number of great people. And what I realized that I enjoyed most over the course of my career was the excitement that the people that I worked with would feel when they were able to do something or be a part of something that they were proud of, whether it was a campaign that they helped work on, or a great presentation, or a great design element that went into this live experience. Um, the way that people would come alive when they had a chance to do some work that they felt proud of really was what was enlivening for me throughout my career. And the fact that I spent a lot of my career paving pathways for people to do the kind of work to that they could be proud of, that they wanted to show in their portfolios, that they wanted to show off to their friend or network on LinkedIn. They wanted to do the kind of work that they knew that they were capable of, and I believed in their capability and wanted to give them as much of an opportunity to leverage their capability to do what they wanted to do and learn from that experience. That's really what I was like put here to do. And I realized that at a point when I had the least ability to do that structurally, meaning the hierarchy of the company that I was in just wasn't allowing me to support the team in the ways that they were asking for and needed, and in ways that I was hired to.
Mm,
And
mm,
when I was in the right kind of like title to be able to make that kind of change, but still was not able to effectively make those kind of shifts that would have been really wonderful for all involved. I realized that I could just work directly with the people.
mhm,
The
mhm,
sensation that I was feeling at that point
mhm,
was this feeling of alienation. And, alienation is a really challenging feeling because it has a number of things wrapped inside of it. Alienation can lead to depression. Alienation can lead to a disconnection from self. Alienation can lead to confusion. Alienation can lead to heartache. Being disconnected from where you believe that you should be or where you want to be in your
mm,
life, where your spirit
mm,
wants to be. There's this distance and this like tightening in our energy bodies because of the distance that we are from the things that we love and the things that we know that we have to offer to the world. I was feeling that very significantly and at a lot of points in my career, even though I'd done great work, but I had also felt that amongst so many people that I worked with. I could feel them and that sense of alienation and that desire to do something with their being, to do the kind of work that they know that they were capable of. And that led me to a realization about our creative opportunities in our life. It led me to a new awareness of um, modes of creative thinking that help to work through alienation. And so I started the Alien School for Creative Thinking. It was an idea that came to me in 2022 and matured over the time that I was beginning to make my exit from the advertising industry as a full time staff employee.
mhm, mhm. Okay. All right. All right. That sounds like a lot. It's
It was a lot.
if you see if you listen, if you see that I'm a little quiet, and it's not easy to have me quiet, right? It's because I feel that so deeply in my soul, brother, and I know that a lot of people listening to that um, can relate to it. And I know
Mm.
that me and you, we have spoken offline about some of those things, and I've had a session with you. And I mean, for me, it's been multiple sessions actually, and for myself as well. you get to that point where you hear that calling, and God or the universe or whatever it is, whatever that feeling, that yearning inside, that creativity, that thing that's burning and pushing you, but then yet you're somewhere else, and then you're like, but I should be over there, but I'm
Mhm.
here. And then you start feeling that burning inside, like, what should I do? Should I go? No, but no, don't go, because then what if, and then what if, yeah, but then what if, and you try to fix it, you go, yeah, but I'll just, yeah, but what if, well, then I'll just, yeah, but you can't do that. Selling oranges on the corner is not going to pay for rent and food, shelter, clothing, so
Yeah.
I feel it in my soul, those things. And then
Mhm.
you asked me earlier, what was the purpose of the podcast? Why am I doing this, right? And this
Yeah.
is a wonderful question. I love this, and this is one of the reasons why I feel that your inner circle should be very small. You shouldn't have an inner circle with lots of people. No, you should have the very tight circle, and those people should challenge you. You don't need yes men around you, because or agree with you. Oh yeah, that's great, go ahead. Oh, no. But so you asked me, what's the purpose of the podcast? What is it that I like to achieve?
Mhm.
I want to be able to just speak to the masses, and to create this wonderful thing that's burning inside of me, that the God or universe or whatever gave to me, for me to help to manifest and unfold, right? And I'm not always sure how that looks, and I'm doing the best that I can with this, and it's an enjoyable one, because this is what I want to do. So my main point is just that I want to be able to have the cojones, right? In Spanish, I want to be able to have a pair to be able to do some of these things and to step into that,
Mhm.
you know.
Mhm.
So why don't you tell me a little bit more about the alien school, and how, first of all, tell me some of the misconceptions of the title of your business, the Alien School. And the other one is, then tell me, how would you guide someone to, help them to grow a pair, and to realize their vision, and to step out into deeper waters.
Yes. Yes. Oh man, deeper waters. Deeper waters is such a. Well, we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that.
Okay.
Um, Misconceptions about the alien school are fascinating to me because we have just this general conception around alienness. We have so many walls or barriers between each other, and one of those things is this designating each other as alien, meaning not like me, foreign from me. And the idea of an illegal alien, right? Like, or just on Earth is pretty pretty intense to be called this in the media, out loud to others. Um, it creates this distance in our humanity that is a bit unnecessary. Mm, so one of the biggest questions is why alien, and really is because as we start to explore and we explore new worlds, we will be the aliens exploring new worlds. And
Mm,
if we're discovering other life somewhere else, we are the aliens visiting our planet and the
mm,
aliens visiting us on our alien planet.
mm,
So there's just a truth to it, but the most important truth to it is that there's a definition for an affliction that a lot of us actually deal with, which is called alienation. And it is a legitimately
mm,
defined disconnection from self. And if we're disconnecting from each
mm,
other and putting borders between each other as human beings, then we are naturally alienating ourselves. We can put that border between ourselves and another human, then how far are we away from our true selves as an interconnected species?
Mm, mm, mm,
That's
mm, mm,
really at the
mm.
core of, the naming. And it's always fun having conversations about it because, now after I tell people that I've started the alien school, I start to get upset with them when they don't some send me like all the alien news that's happening on this planet. We're getting visited. There's, there's Senate hearings, you know. So truly, truly, the alien school is really for when the aliens come here and they want to actually figure out how to communicate with us. I'm just here for that.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's beautiful. All right. We have a question. If you
Okay.
are you open for a question? We have Ciela, and
Yes.
it's a ticker right under the screen there. It says, "How did you go from awareness to creating the alien school?"
Mm, mm. That is a awesome question, Celia.
Ciela, Ciela.
Ciela,
Mm,
Ciela.
mm, mm,
That is an awesome question. Mm, the awareness, the awareness was the alien school. Um, and I'll unpack that a bit so that it becomes a bit more clear. Mm, I just woke up one day with the words "the alien school." I just I woke up and I knew that I was in the process of building something for my future. I was aware that I was building something for my future. The power of awareness is actually allowing the idea to come through and putting yourself in a position to allow a great idea to come through, an idea that is meaningful to you, that you get a chance to unpack. So, a really beautiful idea a lot of time doesn't have a lot of definition to it, and you actually get to unpack it and unfurl it as it goes. And so, as my intention around that time and for a couple of years leading to that is to love creation in all its forms, like really understanding creation in every aspect of creativity that exists on this planet. That was an intention that I was living with, and so I was aware of my intention, which then allowed for that idea to come through. And most importantly, I'd spent so much time listening for the right um, the right concept. I spent so much time listening for the right concept as someone who spent years in advertising, listening for and inspiring concepts. I'm attuned to hear when a good concept comes along. And so when the alien school hit my consciousness, I knew what it was subatomically, like in my body, throughout my whole being. I knew
mm,
what it was. I
mm,
didn't know what it was going to be, but I knew what it was. And so I sat with that and I opened up a note in my phone and I just wrote the alien school and a little emoji. And then I went back to sleep. I started to talk about it with myself. I started to talk about it with my coach. I started to talk about it with people that were me. And I started to talk about it with my history, my own history. So I would think through experiences that I'd felt alienation and that I would have really loved to have some guidance and some support. And I realized that I wish that I was there with this idea for those moments. And that's when I knew really what I was doing with the alien school was being there for those moments that others are going through where they're struggling with some disconnection from their
mm,
purpose and their intention. Maybe they haven't even set an intention for themselves for where they're going in their lives, and need to establish some. Perhaps the thinking that they're going through, the thinking process they're going through. Omar, you just kind of went through it, which was beautiful. When you watch this back, you'll see yourself go through a thinking process where you do a bunch of ors, like, or is it this? Is it this? Is it that? That circular thought is something that can take you really great places or take you into a time vortex where you're just losing time to do great things. And so a lot of the work that we do at the school is helping to elevate our thinking so that we understand that we're working with ideas and that we're working with our imagination and not just working with random thoughts.
Yeah, I feel that that's key because we get all kinds of thoughts and
Yeah.
we waste a lot of time too. And our mind is just so pliable that it's
Hmm.
just all over the place sometimes, that monkey mind, right? Because that's one of the things that we do here is the breath work. It slows
Hmm.
down that fast paced thinking, and
Yes.
also the ice. We do the ice plunge that pushes you into the now. It forces you into
Hmm.
the present moment, right?
Hmm.
So I'll tell you what, before we go further, let's just take a quick short pause because I'm loving this. This is so amazing, man. Thank you so much for being here. I did want to
Thank you.
mention about the breath work and the ice plunge. That's what the
Mm.
Omzia Healing Sanctuary, one of our staples is breath work. And there's tons of benefits there. And then there's the ice plunge, submerging your body into a tub of a lot of water with a lot of ice. So we have these periodically, sometimes once or twice a month, but we now have people coming during the week and private sessions as well. I mean, we're growing, man. This is just incredible, right? Because you think about what is it that you want to do with your life and grow. I could remember when I could barely get one or two guys to come here, and they told me yes. And then Saturday, there I was with bags of ice and water, and they didn't show up, bro.
Mm. Mm.
But
Mm.
now, one of the last sessions we had, there was like 16 people here. There was bodies all over the place, man. Incredible. Oh, sometimes I just stand back and like I get so emotional because it's beautiful how people are realizing this healing modality, one that helped me, with all kinds of things, emotional and physical as well, and spiritually too. It helped
Mm.
to keep me focused and keeps me right on point. So I just wanted to say, whoever's listening to this podcast at this time, just let us know that you listen to Brother Kamau and his story, and we will give you half off of the energetic exchange in order to come here for some breath work and a nice plunge. We always have free giveaways, free samples. We have products, sea moss, iris sea moss. We have many things. All right. Thank
If
you
I
so
could,
much. So
if
now,
I could add on, if I can
yes,
add
please
on
do.
a little bit about
Mhm.
the cold plunge experience, because it's not just the plunge itself. Like the cold is just an aspect of the experience, the community, and the vibration of energy and exchange and um, just communal like love and support that happens in OMZL experiences is wildly impressive to me. And I spent my whole life almost building experiences or wanting to build experiences. So this particular this particular experience of this cold plunge is you're surrounded by um, just a, a universe of support and a universe of chanting and love and energy pulling you through what you think is cold.
Mm.
And there's something really powerful to that when you start to understand that what you think is cold is just water.
Yeah,
And
right.
really, really empowering to experience that
Mhm.
live
It is.
with people
It
who
is.
are there to help you through those moments.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We did have a session here just recently, and there was a newcomer, and we quickly turned him into a disciple after he got out of that water. It was like
Mhm.
he couldn't believe it. He couldn't believe it. He was like, I feel amazing, amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. So he got that rush of dopamine, all those endorphins that were shooting through his body, just incredible. So
Mhm.
yeah, thank you for that. And we have another question over here. This
Yeah.
one now is a quick one, or I don't know, maybe it's a long one, but it says, "What does your name mean?"
Mm, great question. Kamau means quiet warrior. And I chose my name when I was about 20 years old. I was in college, Pennsylvania, and I was reading books on African naming ceremonies. This one particular book by Dr. Maulana Karenga um, was a beautiful book of names. And as I kind of flowed through it and was just seeing all these meanings and never, I was born Samuel. And so I didn't really know the meaning of the name Samuel. But I also was seeing so many streams of like interesting, interesting nomenclature, interesting combinations of words and language. And when I saw Kamau and I read Quiet Warrior, it felt more like me than anything that I had read about me to that point. Like those two words felt more like me than anything that I experienced of myself. And it was pretty immediate that I was going to adapt that name. And then over the course of a couple of years, I ended up changing the entirety of my name. So I was born Samuel Todd Harris, and I changed my name to Kamau Zuberi Akabueze, which in totality means warrior who believes family and community support is paramount.
Mm, Wow, that's beautiful. That is so beautiful. You see, it's no coincidence that me and you are close and getting closer because that's it for me too.
Mhm,
Family, number one, comes first. You know, that comes first. Well, God naturally has put me here, but then my family is my first connection in this realm. You
mhm,
see, because God has given me that gift, and I, um, harnessed it and appreciated and cultivated. That was the
mhm,
word I was looking for. Um, and then there's my inner circle, right, which is very small. And then there's the outer, the tribe, right? The tribe is building. Oh my God, like people are coming from all kinds of places, and this is the
yes,
community. So
yes,
you mentioned that, and in the community building, that's what we're doing. you know,
absolutely.
it's an amazing journey in order to be a part of someone else's journey,
Mhm.
right, in that way. And it's a pleasure to be in yours also. So I
Indeed.
mean,
I could see immediately that you were community minded. I could see immediately how much you cared. You have the same name as my brother. There's just too many beautiful things happening at once. So you just accept it all, count it all joy.
the synchronicities are there. The signs are there. If you look, they're there. Or you say,
Correct.
it's just coincidence, then that's how you live your life. But for me, the signs are there. So
Yes.
it's amazing work that you're doing. So why don't you tell me a little bit about
Mhm,
what does a session look like with
mhm.
you?
Yeah. A session a lot of times looks a lot like this, spending some time getting to know each other so that I can understand how gifted a creative that you are. We spend a number of sessions in really great dialogue about your creativity, but a lot of it's about your life and what you've been doing with your life, where you've been, where you want to be. We do some very powerful intention setting because your intentions are also a guide to what you have the capability to create for your life. So when we, at the beginning of our orientation and working together, you set three intentions that we then work on together. Now, those three intentions are basically guideposts to the future. Because once you set an intention um, dutifully, with taking the time to consider where you want to be with yourself, with your spirit, with your life, with your mind, and you establish them, you're going there. And it's an understanding that like we're going there together. And so what I can see inside of the intentions that you set are what you are looking to create for yourself in your life. You may be looking to create harmony in your relationships. You may be looking to create a better relationship with your um, overall, mental and emotional understandings. You may want to create a better pathway for your career. You may want to carve a pathway for your thoughts in your career. You may want to create a business and you got a whole lot of ideas swirling around. Your intentions tell me a lot about what you have the capacity and are able to create. And our conversations help me to see how powerfully and profoundly creative that you are. Um, Omar, I've seen you as a creative in so many ways that you very likely are starting to understand about yourself, even through our kind of conversations. But you are a profound creative in in the work that you do and the work that you are creating, the spaces and environments that you're creating for your community, the way that you open up your environment and your living environment for the lives of others to expand. You're creating hearth, you're creating warmth, you're creating an ecosystem, you're creating understanding, you're creating connections, you're creating like subatomic reactions in people's bodies, all through a very important healing intention. And so that's what I mean about the packet that an idea is. Omziel Healing Sanctuary was a packet of an idea, and you've created all those things within that and much more. We don't always know how profound we are as creatives, and so a lot of these sessions are getting that understanding of, okay, wow, this is someone with a wealth of creativity. Let's see what they're actually doing with their imagination. And that's really where the work starts, is naturally creating a number of things in your life that you're not aware of and that you actually may be very, very aware of. Where your imagination is playing with the things that you're creating and dancing around inside of the things that you're creating and the thoughts that you're creating. That's really where the work is, and training the imagination to see how much opportunity it is creating for itself to work with, is where the alien school really starts that unwinding from that sense of alienation into the world of creative opportunity that goes along with really aware creative thinking.
Right. So these are abstract concepts that you're speaking of.
Hmm.
And oftentimes people have a hard time, levitating toward this because
Yeah.
we live in a monetary system and a very materialistic system.
Hmm.
But, for me, some things have and events have occurred in my life that has opened my consciousness up, has raised it, however you want to put it, because those things are just semantics. I
Hmm.
know that some things have taken place without a doubt that has changed me, right? I'm different, so now all of my time is for this, right? And I realize my kids are watching me, right? So now it's bigger than me. Now it's outside of me too. So now I have a
Hmm.
responsibility for them also, and then once I realize the possibilities of the things that I could do, oh, you kidding me? Like beyond the sky is the limit. I just have to apply it. That's it. Like my
Yeah.
intentions and all that. And you could be wishful and you could pray and all that. Praying happens on your knees, but things happen on your feet, right? That's my dad used to tell me that. Um,
Hmm.
but I was working with another brother in the past on some projects, and I just came to this realization that it seemed like more of a hobby for him, and for me,
Mm.
like I want to be part of greatness. I am great, and I want to be part of anything that has to do around here with greatness. It's not a hobby for me. Like this is bigger. Like I'm creating these big events, that change lives. I want to change lives. I don't want to just, people come over, that was cute. No. I want people to walk away and say, wow, that was amazing. I'm different.
Hmm.
And I get that. And once you get a taste of that, like, oh, you kidding me? I want it all the time now.
Indeed.
But once you tell me perhaps about um how would you help someone to realize that in some of your sessions, because I know that you're working with transformative modules, right, with the creative
Mhm.
spirit. So
Mhm. Yeah.
tell us how would that look more or less?
Yeah. So I'm glad that you mentioned the creative spirit. It's an energy that just resides in all of us. We're all creative beings. And quite honestly, going back to my career, that was something that was a big realization, along the way, was that, creativity did not just exist inside of a department. Um, when I was fascinated by video games early on in my life, if this glass is the video game console, what I saw was a video game console, PlayStation, whatever it is. I didn't at the time see this as a created product. It was just an object. I didn't understand the number of people and ideas and time and energy that went into the creation of that console that was then also unlocking my mind to think bigger. So that one idea led to many ideas in my mind that expanded my mind pretty significant. Um, what you just talked about, the reason why you wanted to lean in as significantly as you wanted to lean in on OZL is you're creating a legacy. You talked about what you're doing for not just yourself, your community, your children, your family. That's creating a legacy. And your dedication and your commitment to that work is fueling that legacy. And everybody that you touch and interact with is also spreading the energy that you are creating, the vibe that you're creating inside of your experiences. So you're creating a vibration. You're like this ripple in a beautiful pond that is ever expanding with each session that you do. And that creative life force that is just flowing out and emanating out from each experience that you created is also filled with the vibration of the legacy that you are creating. All that we work on is getting you to hold on to that legacy, the understanding of the legacy that you're creating, so that you can see the much bigger picture
Mm.
when things here aren't exactly the way that you want them to be, because they can't be, because the universe doesn't exactly work like that. However, this thing that's out here, the legacy that you're building, that's getting bigger and bigger and ever expanding all the time once you know what it is that you're working towards. So you're just creating inside of an ever expanding ecosystem meant to support everything that you're doing because you're doing it from the core of your being.
It's beautiful. That is, you put it together so eloquently. You say a lot of things that I'm thinking. That's exactly
Good.
I'm trying to convey that the best that I can to people,
Hmm.
right? Sometimes, you know, sometimes I feel like a used car salesman. Like I gotta try to sell you to come to some breath and ice. And in reality, I mean, and this is the real facts. I don't care if you come or you don't come. I know I'm here and I'm getting in the water. It's just like that. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. You see, because I already realized that money is just a byproduct of something that you do passionately. That's all. The money's gonna come. Money, it's already there. It's like you don't have to make it. It's already there. See? But are you passionate about it? Um, and then how do you express that passion to people so that they can understand it? You don't look like a lunatic where they'll be like, "Ah, I'm gonna stay away from that guy," but more like, hey, wow, this guy has something here. Hold on a minute. I see his life. Like he is putting in the work, because you have to first do it. People have to see you doing these things. You just talk about it. They'd be like, man, you ain't do nothing. Come on, bro. So but with all this that you're teaching people and bringing in people, and expressing yourself so eloquently, and all of this life that you've created, can you tell me, are you happy? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, you went mute. Ah, you went mute. See if the light is on your lavalier. Perhaps it was the question. Just threw him off there, ladies and gentlemen. Is it?
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, that's better. Don't
All
forget the
right.
little cushion on the top
Oh
because that
yeah,
helps.
I
Because
got you.
I did that one time. My little cushion fell off and it sounds whack.
All right, hold on 1 second. Boom. There we go.
Okay, there you go. You get perfect. You got the signature question, brother.
All
Are you
right.
happy?
Am I happy?
Mhm.
I'm happier than I've ever been. Um, I'm happier than I've ever been because I know that I'm doing the kind of work that I was meant to do. And I have started to receive the kind of feedback from some of the students and scholars that I've worked with so far at the school. And their reflections on the creative freedom, creative awareness, creative opportunities um, that they are experiencing, the shifts in their relationships, the shifts in the way that their minds are reoriented to joy and opportunity and possibility, the way that they've been able to find joy in their work, even when they came in with tension, the way that they've been able to create the kind of progress in their ideas that they've wanted to see for sometimes years and had been able to realize.
Mm,
Um, and the way that the messages are coming to me organically, because I haven't done the campaign where I ask for feedback, but it's coming because of the resonance of the work. That's so meaningful. It's so meaningful in so many ways. It's just adding on to the joy of already knowing that I'm on the right path, but knowing that I'm on the right path, knowing that the work that I'm doing has been incredibly effective for everybody that I've touched, not just through this school, but also through the course of my life. And it's kind of the reason, the words that I heard throughout the course of my life, what people told me about what I offered them is why this school exists. And to be able to continue that legacy and
mm,
receive the feedback that I am continuing that legacy in my own way is uh, it's a kind of joy that I'm so glad that I now know, and the kind of joy that I want so many to feel, and the kind of joy that'll keep me doing the kind of work that I'm doing with the Alien School for as long as I can breathe
mm,
and communicate and share my energy with others.
mm, mm. That's beautiful. That is so profound. I mean, there's people who stay in a job. Wow, man. You've seen them. Oh, I've been at this job for 45 years.
Of
And in my
course,
mind, I
of
go, you're
course,
proud of that? It's like,
of course, of course.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just one of those things. Yeah,
And that's
but
I want to answer yes. I'm going to answer yes.
right,
That's the
right.
thing. Yes,
Mhm.
I am absolutely proud of every single thing. That's exactly where I want to be, and I
Right.
want that for so many.
Myself, I'm working towards that, right?
Mhm,
Because
mhm,
you talked about legacy, right? For my family, for them to see, like, wow, I can inspire to be even more. I'm going to be even bigger and
mhm,
stronger and more creative than my dad and my mom. Um, but then also the practicality of it too, right? Because I had learned about this one gentleman that said, legacy, that's great, but you know what? Put that aside. It would be probably far more better for you to make something more practical for humans to use, like a chair,
mhm,
you know. So,
mhm.
so, so all this that I'm creating is my chair.
Yes,
This is the
indeed.
chair, right? This is the chair right here. Get out of your head, get out of your way, open your mind, stretch
Mhm,
further. go to the edge, to the very edge of what you can accomplish, and then go further than that. Yeah,
Oh,
'cause I feel personally like whoever built us, we're just made for that. We're made to help other humans too. We spoke about that, and
yes,
that's some of the
indeed.
things that you're doing. You know, I know you
We are
feel
here for
strongly.
each other. Yeah.
Mhm, mhm. That's great. So why don't you tell me about the future of the alien school and
Mm,
any
mm,
project that you're, working on?
yeah.
What is it that you see?
Yeah. My future and the future of the alien school is a continuation of my journey to uplift the creative spirit in every being that I have the opportunity to. Um, we all are creating for each other each and every day. This world that we're working in, we are creating for each other. There's no one else that we're creating for than for each other each and every day. And when we have a greater understanding of our role as creators for each other, with each other, in cooperation with each other, um, this world has so many wonderful transformative opportunities ahead of it. And whatever I do to uplift the creative spirit, to connect people with their creativity and with the unity involved in creativity, with the collaboration that inspires great ideas. Um, I see everything that I'm doing at the Alien School just revolutionizing creativity and creative education around the world. But it starts, one person at a time, one organization, one opportunity at a time. Because once creativity is understood, co-creation is infectious,
Mm,
and that is what is empowering about the work is that I don't exactly have to touch everybody. Great creative work touches everybody, and we've seen that time and time again. We as beings are great, great, great creative works. And I want everyone to know how amazing of a creative work that they are.
that's beautiful. I was just recently learning that humans, we're pack animals.
Mm,
That's what humans are. We're pack animals.
mhm,
We thrive when we're together, right?
mhm.
That's, you could imagine that whole thing about 6 feet distance and don't, yeah, okay. All right. I could see where they was going with this, right? Why? Because we're stronger together. I always think of that Kenyan proverb, a bundle of sticks is hard to break.
Mhm.
So yes, that's what we're doing. We're doing our best to collaborate with other um, like minds. There's a whole list of people that have come and helped and contributed with OMZL and what is it that we're doing. As well as other organizations, other companies too.
Yeah.
Small businesses as well. There's a CrossFit gym that's by us also that we're working with, CrossFit ECF, and I had the opportunity to work with them a number of times. One of them, they had a street event where they were competing, and Stevens, the other gentleman, the other good brother that
Mhm.
I also met along with you too, he came
Indeed.
down and we were able to facilitate, some breath work a little bit and some ice, with the CrossFit community, because their concept is similar, right? It's
Mhm.
about community, getting together and building, touching people's lives and touching them so profoundly and deeply that they transform them, even physically,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and mentally, because it's in the mind. Everything is in the mind. Won't you agree?
All is mine.
Mhm. Everything's in the mind. Everything. All right, brother. So I think
Mm.
that's it, man. Thank you so much for being with us. So where can people find you with the Alien School and all these projects that you're working on?
Yeah. The primary place is the Alien School, alienschool.com. Everything that we do is found there. So the Alien School as you spell all of those words, you'll find the website, you'll find information about some of the different courses. You'll see a little bit more about yourself. And then there's a brilliant FAQ section that could answer every question that's come up. And as questions come up about the school, I add to the FAQs. And so I want to make sure that I'm always addressing the questions that people have about what we're up to. So that section is really meant to help anyone understand the impact and the potential available to them, working with us. But most importantly, just take some time. The most important place to find the alien school is in your own mind when you're asking yourself on a consistent basis, what am I creating? And what do I have an opportunity to create? If you're asking yourself those two questions on a consistent basis, you're doing a bit of the work that the alien school does. And if you answer those questions honestly about what you create and what you have an opportunity to create, then you will find yourself in some really, really interesting places in the world. And you'll find yourself interacting with some really, really beautiful people that want to support you in bringing your great ideas to life.
Mm, okay. Well, thank you so much for that, brother. And I'm sure people will be looking for you. So I'm putting out your information there. I put out the website, and I'm going to add that also to the YouTube channel. And we'd love to have you back again, brother. Yes,
Love to be back.
we can go on for hours on this one, for hours and days. Thank you so much, brother. Again.
Look, if we want to do a live session, we could do that someday, just so people can actually get a flavor of what it's like to be in the work. So just throwing it out there if you ever want to either offer to one of your viewers or take that up for yourself, I'd be happy to go through that experience with someone.
Thank you. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you. I appreciate you. And yeah, thank you. Thank you. And I'll see you very soon, brother. Peace and love.
Indeed. Peace and love. Thank you.
Peace, peace. There you go, guys. That was amazing. Wow. Wow. Kamau, the guy is super powerful. He's happened to manifest quite a bit of things in his life, and he took the leap too. And I'm sure that there was people telling him, "Don't do it. Don't do it. No." But he did it anyway. He's living his life on his own terms. It's scary, man. It's nerve-wracking as well, especially when you have other things that are counting on you, family and bills and certain lifestyles too. It's tough, but it's possible. So things that are hard or scary are not impossible. They're very doable. Even the word impossible, it only exists until someone does it. So thank you everyone for tuning in. See you guys soon. Peace and love.